All right, so we're going into a defensive style. This will be a defensive playstyle. I'll pick a high health specialist. 5k is a lot. We're going with fire badgers and crawlers. Crawlers aren't the most defensive units in the world, which means they're going to be running out there pretty fast and getting into the fight pretty fast. But we want to, but they're basically not the main focus of my army, so it's not a big deal. It's not like gonna make or break everything for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them at absorbing the back flanks in every single way. I'm gonna make sure my hounds are able to be in the right place at the right time whenever they need to be there. Let's go ahead and also get myself a couple of marksmen here. That will give me the ability to shoot, we're gonna shoot a long distance and absorb, like, kill things ideally from a safe distance. Keep these marksmen in the back. They're able to cover the flank, but they're also near the towers, so they're also able to cover the line quickly. We're not really leaving the towers exposed in any other way. Let's go ahead and put a couple of devices here on my fire badgers, and let's yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, we're obviously capped out on how many units we can deploy the first round, but for the first round we have fire badgers covering the towers. We spread them out so they're covering the majority of the board. We're not playing necessarily on one side. We're just playing a defensive absorb kind of board. We're playing very standard, and so is he. He's playing standard too. So it's 2 standard boards overall, which means this is going to be a game of range more than anything. Because if we're both really far away from each other, whoever shoots further is just going to be able to weaken the other guy and get advantages before the fight really starts. So as it starts, we're watching. My marksmen are getting decent shots. My right marksman won the fight. My left marksman's dead. And then my left, or my, both my towers die. And we lose the round. It's okay. No big deal. No big deal? No big deal. Phoenix. Some of these things could be really nice too for like a temporary round, but he already has a lot of Void Eyes behind his towers, so I'm not really loving the idea of flanking him necessarily, because it's going to get spotted right away. So I kind of want to take Fangs. Let's put Fang behind both my towers. Let's actually just sell off my cannons. Let's get another Fire Badger, like right here. Let's get another Marksman, like right here. Left side lost last time, so he had the reason why. I mean, it might just be because of the wall. Our units got stuck more on the wall, didn't really do proper damage to his units as fast, and we actually lost too much too quickly. We also have the wall on right side, so it's reverse. He has to waste some time shooting at that if we're standing behind it with something. But this time, yeah, we should be able to have a little bit more defense here. And we also have the ability to turn on a lot of upgrades, so that's good. He does have EMP armor. That can always be annoying. He went for energy absorb, so these are going to be some really tanky Void Eyes. Again, there's a lot of ways we can play this defensively. He also cannot lift off his Void Eyes. He's making so many Void Eyes. The fact that he can't lift them off makes me kind of want to go Stormcallers. He has so many, and we could also get him to turn on Mustang anti-missile. So then it would allow... it would make it to where his Mustangs aren't able to shoot anymore, and I could actually really protect Fangs that way. But I could also abuse the fact that I could shoot at his Void Eyes forever with Stormcallers until he gets anti-missile. I kind of like the idea of Stormcaller a little bit in this army. Just because I feel like range is kind of key here. Defensive versus defensive range is pretty important. Fortified Mustangs. I'm gonna get a damage device. It's fine. I'll get a damage device because these marksmen, I'm gonna put it on a marksman because they're gonna basically be my anti-air for the game. I'm gonna get 3 more this round. And I just want to have a little bit more cover here to be able to really punish these Void Eyes. If he turns on EMP armor early, he turns it on early. I'm not afraid to go Stormcallers here, but I really want the marksman to be able to actually punish this. He's got so many Void Eyes. There are so many Void Eyes. So, marksman is a good counter to a Void Eye. EMP armor is a good counter to tech, period. But, yeah, we, some more crawlers too wouldn't be the worst idea. Because we could really help protect these fire badgers from the initial shots of his Void Eye. And his Void Eye are really kind of crushing my badgers pretty hard. Yeah, we probably should get a couple more crawlers, honestly. Efficient tech. I like it. Sell the wall. Get another marksman over here. Let's get... Get another couple crawlers. Just so we have more time to have our badgers react to this. He doesn't have charge shot either. So I think I'm gonna... There are a lot of things we could do here, but I think I'm gonna get field maintenance. It's the cheapest upgrade we have. And it'll just honestly buy more time on my badgers. Especially if my marksmen are able to start killing these Void Eyes. Let's get 1-1. So we just added a marksman and 2 more crawlers to keep the badgers alive a little bit longer. And there are a lot of upgrades we can be turning on at any point in time to really make the most out of this engagement. So this engagement can keep changing all the time. There's actually a good opportunity for arc lights in this board, honestly. Let's get orbital bombardment. Let's throw it at his right side. Just try to kill off his Mustangs with it. He can also do the same thing to me. He could. I'm gonna get 2 more badgers. I think I'm gonna actually get myself a couple arc lights. I think I'm probably gonna make myself like 6 arc lights. Just so I can get range, elite marksman, and I can also have these arc lights be EMPing out the Void Eyes if he goes crazy down that road. But even bigger than that, I can also kill the Mustangs, which keeps the marksman safe after the Void Eyes are all dead. Like, basically, the marksman and the arc light are very similar, but at least I actually have an answer to EMP armor. So in Siege vs. Siege, in range versus range, in defensive versus defensive, range is important. And EMP armor Void Eye is very, very annoying as an upgrade. It doesn't exist on every Void Eye, but if the person runs it, if you simply shoot at it, it turns your tech off, which... And now he has it, so... We had a feeling this was coming, which is why we're doing Arc Light now, all of a sudden. And I'm not going to do anything more than just regen on my badgers for now until I have Void Eyes really under control. But Void Eyes are a problem. He has a lot of them. I need to make sure we're not having the worst board in the world here. So, yeah, making sure, like, Arc Lights are going to be a nice addition just because they're a good range unit and they have EMP. My Arc Lights run EMP, which is the main reason why I like them here. I don't have it yet, but I'm about to. I'm like soon, maybe in the next like couple rounds. And I don't think we're going to freak out on making too many tech choices on my marksmen or my badgers. We're just going to probably end up leveling them up Efficient tech again. Hell yeah. We can always go back and upgrade more tech as well on the marksman and stuff like that in the future. All right, so let's get another arc light. Let's get another arc light. Another arc light. Let's get range on arc light. And it actually can afford it this round, so we will actually get EMP on arc light too now. And now these arc lights next round, I'll probably end up making like 2 more next round, and then we might end up making some chaff in the front even further. But I'll have like probably 6 arc lights spread across the board just so I can reach the entirety of what he has here too. And I can really just turn these Void Eyes off. And then I can also level up off of the Mustangs. So what we have right now is ground AoE and tank is the Fire Badger. Tank in itself is the Crawler and the Fang. AoE for ground is support is Arc Light. In case my Badgers die, which they might, because Void Eyes are good at killing them. And then finally, single target DPS for air and ground is Marksman. So we have every quadrant mostly covered. If you noticed, we didn't say anything about air AoE, but we have the option to turn on Arclight Anti-Air, which gives us air AoE, or we can always add something else to the board to give us air AoE. Wasp don't exist yet, so we don't care yet. And he doesn't have air spec on Void Eye, so we don't care about that either yet. We didn't go storm colors either. We chose to go arc lights. Oh, there's the storm colors. Perfect timing. Thank you. All right, we're gonna put storm colors like near the front, so they're not really gonna be moving. They're just gonna be kind of staying stationary and shooting. Let's get 2 more arc lights. I'll get another storm color. Let's get, I'm so tempted to get Scorching Charge, but if I'm EMP'd as well, it's gonna not be great. And I could also light my own stuff on fire, so that's also kind of scary. Yeah, I don't think I think the Fire Badger just remain as they are. I think we actually take Elite Marksman on Arclight. This is kind of getting desperate. So range is important. I'm going to take enhanced range right now. Range is very important. I'm going to take a nice missile device too, and I'm going to blow up a Void Eye or no, I'm not. I'm going to actually blow up these Fangs. I'm blowing up the Fangs. He has a barrier, so it doesn't really make sense to blow the Void Eye up because they're just going to survive. But the Fangs will die. And this cannon can't move, so the Fangs will walk into the missile and then blow up the cannon and the Fangs together. He got Stormcaller as well. Okay, so we're looking for... he has Stormcallers himself. I could always get some anti-missile devices too. I hope I'm not going to be dead. If I could get some leveling going on here, this would be really nice for us because Arclights can get really strong in this fight. We are greedy by recruiting them at level 1. I will say that right now. I didn't elite recruit them, but it's because I got so much tech on them. No, we're dead. Okay, it's okay. GG. So, looking at the battlefield, again, this is just a defensive game. And for us, this game, it started off with some Fire Badger Crawler Marksman. We started off with Crawlers in the back. He also decided to play a defensive game. And he did a defensive, like, EMP line. All these Void Eyes having EMP is actually, it can be annoying. Because if you shoot at, every time they get shot, the unit that shoots at them gets their tech turned off. So you lose all ability to have any tech unless you run photon coating Ore, which is a 20-second aura upgrade. It's like an aura that puts a buff on everyone around it. It's about like if this Arclight was applying it to everyone else with an aura, it's done specifically off of a unit called the Farseer. But it would be like this big of a radius to apply it, a little bigger. Like anything within that box right here is about the radius of which would be protected by it. So you, generally speaking, you'd probably need like 3, maybe 4 if you were really spread out in your army to cover everybody or the majority of your units. And it's the thing I don't like about photon coating in defensive versus defensive is the majority of the upgrade or of the time is going to be useless. Like it's going to be like 10 seconds go by and you haven't even shot at all yet because you're both defensively walking at each other because you're both built back, and it's both slow armies for the most part. So it's not the greatest. So I chose a reaction to this EMP armor to be EMP myself off of Arclights, which are very good if they're able to level up a little bit, because Arclight versus Mustang is a massive win for the Arclight. It's just that we have level 1 Arclights fighting against level 3 Mustangs with damage devices and also damage upgrades. So it's a little bit... They're a little bit out-leveled right now, which means even though Arclight is actually a good counter to a Mustang, we're getting outscaled at the moment, so we lost. It was starting to go... Like, these Arclights were gaining XP, though, so as we do start leveling up, we will start closing the distance and making you know, the Arclights will start dominating, because Arclights actually, they also get massively better with this specific upgrade right here called Elite Marksman, because their range gets longer every time they level too. So we would be killing Mustangs before they can even fight back at all, eventually. And as the board develops more, with more things. So we had, I feel like the way that I would say I would break down the board is we had a board that could grow in power over time, but he got us early and killed us because I do think his Void Eye Mustang board was just better than our Fire Badger Marksman board. Fire Badgers were not really able to do much in this game because we were just getting turned off by the Void Eyes and just getting destroyed. Like the Void Eyes were hitting my Fire Badgers really hard because they have a naturally decent, like good attack. And they were just like getting through my HP and quickly and killing me. And then the Mustangs were kind of able to do whatever they wanted behind the Void Eyes. So our opener was just not as solid. There's a lot of ways you could convert this and change this and do something different. Like I could, instead of building spread out like I did, I could have done one side. And I could have made my marksman better that way, because I would have more marksmen grouped up killing his army as it's spread out, because he built in a line as well. So it wouldn't be like each one marksman has to kill its own 6 Void Eyes. It would be like 2 marksmen have to kill 6 Void Eyes while all the other Void Eyes are elsewhere. Or like 3 marksmen could kill 6 Void. Like just like I could make my quadrant here more dense to really capitalize on a different counter. Because Fire Badgers are honestly a great counter to Mustang, which is why our board failed. Because our counter to Mustang wasn't working because we were getting killed by his other counter. And his Mustang, because they weren't getting countered, were then killing my marksman. So that's why we tried adding the Arclight in, which would have worked over time if we weren't so out-leveled. But level 1 Arclights have they have a big hill to climb. And it might take a few rounds for them to start getting through it. You know. That's essentially how it went. I hope that makes some sense. I know it just comes down to like damage thresholds of units, like a Void Eye, can get... This is actually totally eligible to be a single target DPS type of unit, and a Fire Badger is only a medium tank until it has all of its upgrades turned on, and then it can become kind of a heavier tank. But even then, it only has access to this if it's not EMP'd. And these things are literally running EMP armor, so that really put a wrench in our gear here to really have a stable board. So we could have leaned on other things. Instead of leaning on the Fire Badgers and getting them regen and making more of them, we could have left it at just 2 Fire Badgers and stopped and done something else because he had EMP armor, for instance. And we could have done more Stormcallers. We could have done faster Arclights. We could have done a different unit entirely. We could have done To be honest, I really feel like Stormcallers would have been a solid choice this game, because if he does turn on anti-missile, and then I turn on like launcher overload and make fangs and arc lights, it's really annoying for Mustangs. But yeah, like you just basically, you can win, you can lose, but you can really just look at the board and identify what went wrong. And I feel like I already kind of said it, which was I feel like the Fire Badgers were kind of just like a waste on this board. They were accomplishing like nothing. They got countered, and Arclights had to become their replacement, and we just didn't have enough time to get it done. But Fire Badgers could still be good. The thing is if you get in this game, if something is countering you, but you get rid of it with whatever else you make, if he has a counter, if his Void Eye is countering my Badgers, but then if my Stormcaller and my Arclight counter his Void Eye before he counters my Fire Badgers, Fire Badgers can become a problem again. Stuff like that happens all the time in this game. It's just that sometimes you don't have enough time to make things like that happen, because sometimes for things to work properly, you need investment and time, like rounds. Like I need to have 2,000 resources, which will take me 3 rounds when I'm only at round 5 or something like that, to be able to get all of my tech turned on and my deployments out. That would make that happen. But you could be dead in the period of time that would require. Like that can happen. So really making choices that don't put you too deep in the hole too fast. And if I were to really, again, take an objective look at this game, it's too much Fire Badger commitment against someone who's going for too much Void Eye commitment. And we just got killed for it. And that's about it. Because if he didn't have EMP armor, it would have been fine. Because I could then turn on Scorching Charge and not care at all. But EMP armor is kind of annoying because if I turn my own tech off, I just die anyways. And then if his Void Eyes get high level and they kill me out of range, he could actually make me burn myself if I don't even get a chance to charge. If I'm too low level to right now, I just get one shot. And then the detonation happens on myself. But yeah, that was a defensive game. I hope that makes sense. Our board was relatively slow. It's okay to add some fast units into your board if your front line is just getting demolished. Like, if my opponent has Stormcaller, and let's say I had a bunch of Fangs that would be walking 6 move speed, so they're just going to get blanketed in missiles that would be hitting them all the time. It could be in my best interest to add Void Eye, or to add Crawler, which is much faster, which can dodge naturally Stormcaller shots because they run through it quickly and the missiles aren't homing missiles. They shoot where the target's standing right when they shoot is where they're going to hit. So if the unit's really fast and it moves out of the way, the missiles miss. Or if the Void Eyes are connecting to my Fire Badgers too fast because the Fangs are not able to keep up with the Badgers for now, a Crawler could be a great way to get an initial unit in front of them, grabbing the Void Eye attacks so that enough time passes to where now the Fangs after that could be walking in front of the Fire Badger. Like, all of these things could be good to, like, block shots. It's nice to always think about chaff as, like, imagine if, like, you open up a can of soda and you, like, crack the top open and you start pouring it, or like a bottle of water or something, and you pour it and think it's a constant stream that just keeps coming out. That's how you should kind of visualize chaff in this game. It should always be something getting in the way. It shouldn't just be like a fucking brick that just falls out at once and then nothing. And you're like, oh, nothing's there anymore. So the idea of chaff is you have an important unit that should constantly be protected by a flow that gets in the way between your important unit and their DPS. So you're not getting hit by it. So the stream of chaff is what's getting hit by it all the time. That's the idea. And not being too wasteful by having, like, too much in one area where you're like, why? Yeah, that's too much chaff. So a good way to think about chaff is, again, vertically, it's nice to spread it out. And it's also good to spread it out horizontally, obviously, so that you have enough surface area across your board and across your important units. But vertically, I could have, like, a crawler. I could have a crawler. I could have a crawler. I could have a crawler. And that's like 4 different squads of time that floods out. and then I could have a fang, and then I could have a fang, and then I could have a fang, and those fangs will come out at a slower speed than crawlers and increase the amount of chaff I have. I could have crawlers on a mobile beacon that could be like running sideways and then back the other way, so they come out after they finish the beacon, which is like even longer amount of chaff delay, because like they could just get back to where they started 15 seconds after the round starts and then run out, because you could force them to do a weird lap that goes left and right before it runs vertical. Like, that's the important concept to always consider with chaff and with your units. And a reason why it made it difficult, again, in this game, last time I'll emphasize it, it was hard for us to deal with the EMP armor with Badgers because the fight wasn't even going to start for a long time. And there's no way to really give ourselves EMP immunity forever on these Badgers. So they're going to get punished by the EMP armor all day. And yeah, these Badgers are also like really tanky focused. So they really need their tech to not be useless. But I hope that makes sense. But that's all of that information combined. That's kind of like a general way that you're playing Mechabellum. You can really mess around with all the units in this game. You can go into like, you know, any and all the things. But in general, you're going to have kind of a composition as long as whatever units you have are doing the job of whatever they're supposed to be doing. Like, oh, this unit's dealing with AoE, or this unit's dealing with single target, or this unit's buying me time as a tank, or growing as a tank, stuff like that.